You want to know about being lonely? Well, being lonely is being on a ship out in the middle of the sea, and you're going to the head to take a dump, and while you're sitting there on the toilet, you see some other person come in, and you can tell who it is by the make of their shoes. That's being lonely, being super familiar with just so many people, and yet still feeling completely isolated. For the first 10 years of my life, my dad was in the Navy, so we kind of moved around as like military brats do. You move around the country. So we didn't stay in one place for too long. So mostly I just kept to myself because I didn't really have time to make friends. So we just me and my sister essentially for 10 years. So yeah, so I just never really went out there and talked to people. So I didn't really learn how to do that. This is nice, and shyness can stop you from doing all the things in life you'd like to. Coyness is nice, and coyness can stop you from saying all the things in life you'd like to. So if there's something you'd like to try, ask me, I won't say no. How could I? Spending warm summer days indoors, writing frightening verse to a buck-toothed girl in Luxembourg. Ask me, I won't say no. How could I? So, how you make the days go by on the ship is you make jokes with your crewmates and pull pranks. That's how a lot of days go by, is you pull pranks on each other, and yeah, it's just, it got so close, and you're just trying to get through the day and not be so disconnected that you hang out, you just mess with people. It's always the same story too, just every day. I remember this one guy on the ship, Johnson, would just without fail, every so often at breakfast he'd come in and say, "Oh, why aren't you serving cornflakes today? I'm late and you're not serving cornflakes." And I'm just every day, I'm like, "Yes, Johnson, if you'd get here on time, you'd be able to get cornflakes." So it was around when I became a teenager, my dad left the Navy finally. He and my mom were like, they had grown up in one place, in one town all their life, so they felt a little bad for me and Maddie, and so they left. And my dad left the Navy, and so we finally, after moving one more time, we settled finally in Georgia. And so yeah, I managed to stay in one place, and I started making more friends. But yeah, the fact that 10 years of my life I didn't really talk or do anything with people, I still kind of stay to myself because I had developed a bit of a confidence issue. I didn't really know how to make friends, so I didn't try because I'm like, oh, I don't really know how to do it. So I just kind of left friends be at school, and that's something I did there, and I would just go home and stay with me. Yeah, so I, basically escaped into video games and movies, and just did that instead of hung out with people. Just stayed with entertainment. I'm so happy because today I found my friends. They're in my head. I'm so ugly, but that's okay, cause so are you. We've broken our mirrors. Sunday morning is every day for all I care, and I'm not scared. Light my candles in a daze, cause I found God. Hey, hey, hey. I'm so lonely, but that's okay. I shaved my head, and I'm not sad. And just maybe I'm to blame for all I've heard, but I'm not sure. I'm so excited, I can't wait to meet you there, but I don't care. Hey, hey, hey. Another kind of loneliness is when you're isolated in a squad car by yourself, just driving down the road for 12 hours at night. You just driving around trying to find things to do. You basically just end up talking to yourself. You listen to the radio, and that's you and the radio, and it's terrible, and you don't want something bad to happen, but you just end up hoping that you hear somebody on the radio say, hey, there's an accident, and you go, and hopefully everyone's okay and nothing's bad. It's just you want to deal with that so you can have someone to talk to other than just yourself. After a few months out there when I first started, it was your sister. She gave me a little Scooby-Doo toy, and so it's a good thing for that, because I put the little Scooby-Doo in my car and I talked to him. So it's not me anymore, it's just me talking to Scooby. So it's just us two on the road. And, yeah. It's nice. Now I have 4 Scoobies, so, yeah. That's about how it is.
So if you're lonely, you know I'm waiting here for you. I'm just a crosshair, I'm just a shot away from you. If you leave here, you leave me broken, shattered, I lie. I'm just a crosshair, I'm just a shot, then we can die. I know I won't be leaving here with you. I say, don't you know? You say, you don't know. I say, take me out. I say, you don't show. Don't move, tide is low. I say, take me out.
Well, you remember in high school, I was, the artist kid. Everyone knew me as the art guy, so I kind of was always drawing just over there in the corner, and, that was, free attention. Everybody would, come over and comment on my art and talk about that, and I was, always drawing, and all throughout high school. So that was how I, talked to people, met people. It was, my thing. So it was pretty easy to be that. But then, when I graduated, went to SCAD, that's everyone's thing. Everyone is the art kid from their school, so, I wasn't unique or special anymore. Everybody had the same thing, so, it wasn't really easy just meet people that way. And, I'm weird and geeky, but, they're weird and geeky too, but most of them were kind of a little too weird and geeky, and I just didn't really want to get to know a lot of people I met there, but then, that just got in the way of me getting to know anybody there. So mostly just went and drew more and just, did my schoolwork mostly and all that. One thing that made it tough too was, I had a roommate, so, it was Alex, and, he wasn't very easy to deal with because, he was a douche. So we didn't really get along, and, there were times where we tried, but it just didn't work out. Didn't really like him. Not getting too into it, but, things just did not work out, and I didn't like the guy. But luckily he left, and so I got a new roommate the next semester, Brian, and this was a lot easier because I was actually in a class with him beforehand, so we kind of knew each other, and so it was more than just complete strangers in this dorm, but it was still kind of the same. We just lived in the same room until one day, he brought his friends over, a couple of his friends, and they were just playing video games. I'm like, oh, this is new, and they asked if I wanted to join. I'm like, yeah, sure, absolutely. So I started spending more time with them, and then one day they just invited me out they do this thing every Thursday. It's Steak and Shake, and so they invited me over. So it was just me and a bunch of people, and I just jumped right in. I was like, yeah, I'll go to Steak and Shake, and started hanging out more. And so yeah, after that I started spending way more time with them. I got to know, it was Brian, and then his friends Nathan and Mark, Yuli, and Dominique. She's my favorite artist now at SCAD, and we all got to know each other and became more friends that semester. But unfortunately, Brian was a senior, and so he just graduated that semester, and I didn't really get to spend more time with him, and so I didn't have a roommate, and I don't live on campus anymore. I live with my sister. I room with her in an apartment now, so I don't even have a new roommate at this point. But I had a class with Dominique, like I said. So I met her again, and she said, "Oh, by the way, we still do the Steak and Shake, and we were wondering if you still wanted to go. We didn't really have a way to contact you." And I'm like, "Yeah, absolutely, I'll go to Steak and Shake." So yeah, I'll just hang out with them some more now, and so things are better now. It's working out a lot.
We walk the lonely smile. We smile without any style. We kiss altogether wrong, no intention. We lie about each other's drinks. We live without each other, thinking what anyone would do, without me and you. It's like I told you, only the lonely can play. So hold on, here we go. Hold on to nothing we know. I feel so lonely way up here. You mentioned the time we were together, so long ago, well, I don't remember. All I know is it makes me feel good now. It's like I told you, only the lonely can play. Only the lonely can play.
Well, yeah, it was, yeah, I know about loneliness. When we first moved to Monterey, we didn't know anybody there. Tyler didn't even know anybody on base yet. Like, he was stationed somewhere new, and so yeah, first couple months, it was just me and Tyler, really. But we knew he was gonna have to go to boot camp soon, so we didn't really know what I was gonna do like that on my home life, but it was gonna be like being at home. So yeah, we started thinking about a dog, like getting a dog to help. And so we got Ava. We went, to the animal shelter and found a shelter dog. We knew that a rescue would be really helpful, because they attach to you really well. So she was loving, and that was helpful. Uh, Although the funny part was that she liked Tyler way more than me when we first got her. Uh, but that changed when he left. She kind of loved me instead. So yeah, Ava really helped. Um, but other than that, the yeah, uh, at work it didn't work. I distinctly remember like trying to be friends with my coworkers at Chili's, and the one girl that was really cool. She was like, "Oh, I don't really want to be more than friends with work coworkers. I just want to be, coworker buddies." So yeah, didn't meet anybody there. And so mostly just went to work and then came home. So what was waiting for me at home was just, TV and movies and Netflix. Basically, I would just watch Netflix all day and then hang out with Ava before I had to go to work. Talking to you was one of the only things I did too. Was I Skyped you as often as I could, when we could, when I wasn't working and when you were free. So yeah, it was pretty long. How long was that?
I was at the New Amsterdam, staring at this yellow-haired girl. Mr. Jones strikes up a conversation with a black-haired flamenco dancer. She dances while his father plays guitar. She's suddenly beautiful. We all want something beautiful. Man, I wish I was beautiful. So come dance this silence down through this morning. Mr. Jones and me tell each other fairy tales, and we stare at the beautiful women. She's looking at you. Oh, no, she's looking at me. Smiling in the bright lights, coming through in stereo. When everybody loves you, you can never be lonely.
Yeah, then college. I graduated high school, went to college, and I figured that was when it would all change. But then I learned that you have to make a conscious effort to change. And so, yeah, I decided to hell with it. I'm gonna just not care, not worry that I haven't had as much interaction with people as I've wanted all my life, and I'm just gonna talk to people. And so I just went out there and I did it. Language has created the word loneliness to express the pain of being alone, and it has created the word solitude to express the glory of being alone. Paul Tillich. as I say there, being alone in itself is a natural state, neither negative nor positive, but it becomes emotionally painful when we add to it an intense longing for our life to be different than it is, even if our circumstances make that impossible. For example, even if we can't be actively social outside our house or apartment. When that longing goes unsatisfied, being alone turns into Tillich's painful loneliness. But if we can open our hearts and minds to look for what we might treasure about being alone, it can, at times, become Tillich's glorious solitude.